Recording in
Maybe I didn't treat you quite
Hello
as
everyone,
as I should.
welcome. We're waiting for a moment for more people to join. People keep coming.
Quite as often as I could. Little things I should have said and done. I just never really took the time.
Hi everyone. As you're already starting finding out, we have a chat which is open to everyone. We have also questions and answers session there with whatever question you might have, which can influence also the way that we're having this webinar. So feel free. We have more people coming, and I think we will have even more as the time goes by. And I think we are enough already to start. Hi from Rotterdam. I see people coming from various places and from Old York, not New York. Okay, Marcus, good. All right. So welcome everyone. We will start since you are all here, and it's really nice to have you. My name is Dimitris Tolis. I'm very glad to have you with us. This is our webinar with the title "The Learning Brain in the Age of AI," and we are going to have a quick travel from neurochemicals to AI agents. We're going to see what's new in the learning industry these days, of course, with the AI and without the AI, so that we can see how to work on that. So my name, as I said, is Dimitris Tolis. My job is I'm the CEO of Human Asset. Human Asset, as you probably know, most of you, is a company which is focused and specializes in e-learning development, e-learning training programs, train the trainers, many soft skills trainings, in recruitment in Cyprus, and many other services. Today, we're going here to have a discussion about the future of learning and what AI brings to it. What we're going to do is we're going to have a brief introduction on the neuroscience of learning, so that we have a basis. And then based on that, we're going to go deeper into the way that AI, with the AI agents that have grown a lot today, can help our learners learn better. This will be done with two practical examples. We are going to showcase two practical examples, which you are free to also to ask any questions anytime you wish in the chat, and also in the Q&A that we have there. And also we're going to have some polls in between so that we can gather your input. Any question, please, anytime, shoot. It's very interesting to make it as interactive as possible. We are too many to have an ongoing discussion. I promise that if you're interested, we can have a more separate, more closed meetings of 20 people or something, so that we can exchange ideas. But today is the main, let's say, webinar, which cannot be in more, interaction. And I wish that we will have this, of course, in the future. Now, let's get to it. Now, first of all, we're going to discuss a bit about what is the status of learning and the learning brain of the learners today. If we look at it, whenever we build a training program, either you are instructional designers, trainers, or learning and development professionals, whoever you are in your everyday work, you struggle with these challenges. First of all, attention. How can we drag and keep the attention of our learners? And now I provoke you to think both for today and for the AI era which is coming, right? Because in the short term future, we might have tutors who could be AI chatbots or agents. So it's very interesting to start thinking about all these challenges. Another challenge, which we're going to see also later, is memorization. How can we remember things? How many things do we remember? And what influences the memory of human beings today and in the future? Understanding, because if we don't understand, even if we remember, then it's pointless, because we don't understand. We're like monkeys, saying again, or parrots saying again the same thing without meaning. But imagine in your industry how difficult and dangerous this could be. For example, in the health and safety of a hotel, people do not really understanding what they learn and just memorize something, say, okay, and click and read some e-learning exercises there, and you feel that, yes, I did it. I gave them the training content. It's there. I gave them PDF. I gave them the learning. Even if they understand, then there is the challenge of skills. How do they develop skills? Remember, we are we are as a species based on our brain function with neuroplasticity. We develop habits together with skills. If we don't make habits, we don't have skills. So we must have this very, very detailed process in order to develop automated good skills at our job. And the last one, of course, is that behavior, because even if I have the attention, I memorize, I understand, I have the skills, then the big question is, do I feel like it? Do I want to do it? So has anybody influenced my motivation? And this probably is the most important ones. For all these, with some of you have seen that in trainings and other webinars, there's a whole neuroscience-based framework that can help us help our learners with intrinsic motivation, manage all these challenges. The main challenge now comes with the other layer, which is the AI, which is coming rapidly. We were the last week, we were in the OEB Global conference in Berlin, and the talk of the town everywhere was that the normal learning is dying, and some kind of a new type of learning, either for face-to-face or blended or e-learning, is being born these days as we speak. And of course is being born after the AI booming, which is here to stay. Even if it will go up and down, it's here to stay. So we, as instructional designers, learning and development leaders, must think a bit about these new challenges that come. And all these, only if all these work, then we can talk about real results. Because what we are here is for adult learning, real results, business results, organizational results, measurable results, which correspond to KPIs. So we must do our job with specific rigorousness and make them as successful as possible. All these, of course, are not easy to, let's say, implement, because we have a series of concerns which today grow much, much bigger. And these are the legislation, European Union legislation, which has started bringing some legal compliance rules on AI in learning education in general. Data protection, fundamental rights, ethics, how ethical it is, for example, to talk to a chatbot for my concerns on a specific soft skills challenge that I have. If I talk to a real coach, in my experience as a coach, as an executive coach, has shown me that the main success factor of a coaching intervention is the trust between the two humans, the coach and the human coachee. Now, if one of the two is AI, what will happen? Nobody knows. This is something very new for everyone. And of course, all the cybersecurity, which is a bit booming these days. Now, apart from that, I would like to very quickly to ask you about what do you believe are the main challenges of learners today in general. You have a poll in front of you. Please start voting. You have a minute. I think you can see it, probably. Yes. Okay, people start voting. You can vote more than one, of course. What do you believe is the most important? The lack of learner motivation? Is it that they don't want to learn? Is it because they have too much information, they're ready to cry with all these thousands of pages they have in front of them? One size fits all, that they have to endure the learning which is designed for many levels of understanding, or not exactly their own level. The poor technology, click and read slides, for example. Yep, and a lot of other, or poor coaching. Okay, so. These are, and I see that these are the challenges. And before Nicole will go to this in a while. Keep it the AI. Now it's beyond AI. Let's keep it for a moment. As you will see, I will finish it here and share the results with you. As you see the results, the cognitive overload, too much, too fast, was the 74%. There is the lack of learner motivation, second, the one-size-fits-all, third, the poor coaching, mentoring, and the technology. You're very right. Usually the technology is means to an end. And there are also very interesting suggestions for Emil. Thank you, Emil. The lack of time, improper offer, not tailored to today's realities. I believe you can all see the chat. So there are so many challenges we can have in these learning offerings. Now, let's have a look at some of them, and then we will pass the AI to see what changes today. One of the first that it came to my career as a trainer of trainers is that very, very quickly, I'm sure you can understand this graph, how the attention drops when time passes, especially when we have a lecture. So everything goes down. In here you can see it's a waterfall. So if the attention of people vanishes, and especially have in mind when they are alone in front of a computer because they are attending an e-learning course without the humans somehow, even with a webinar, if not in a classroom, tries to make them be more alive. So this is a huge challenge. And if we can see some more recent research, it's becoming worse and worse. The attention span of the new generation is becoming worse and worse. So what we do, we must take care of it so that we can drag the attention and keep it. I don't say how we do it, but we'll discuss that in a moment. Another challenge, I've gathered some challenges here for you, is the click and read boredom. The click and read boredom. We all have experience of e-learning content which is full of pages, full of text which must be read, and who on earth would enjoy having to read so many pages so that after that can get an exercise or a quiz, and so that can prove that, yes, I was here, I was attending, and I was not out there or something. And of course, let's not get fooled from that. If we are not interested, nothing will stick. So even if I pass through, even if I pass my quiz, nothing will stick because my interest will go. Neuroscience has taught us that we tend to forget immediately whatever we are not interested in. So let's double check what we put into our learning, in whatever modality, right? Because Sometimes webinars or classroom trainings can be boring with death by PowerPoint, having 1,000 PowerPoint slides with 2,000 words per slide and reading everything from within. I'm sure you've seen all that. So these challenges are there. This one, which was voted by you as the most important one, is the cognitive overload. Neuroscience has taught us again that every person has into their brain like a glass. So if we put some water in it, then this glass at some point it fills. If we keep filling it, it overflows. So if I have a glass in my mind and you keep pouring 2 liters of water, I will not digest more. I will just digest what I can. I can just 1 glass of water per moment of learning, right? If you give me 1 glass now, another glass in 1 hour, another glass in 2 hours, whatever, yes, I can drink 2 liters of water. But if you give me all of it together, I will just overflow, and the worst thing is you will never know what was out of the glass. So you will never know what is missing, and you will have ticked your checklist. I told them everything. So please take care of this limited amount of capacity that our brain has momentarily. Again, in the long term is huge. Momentarily, meaning in the same half an hour, not much. Other challenge, I have a lot for you. One size fits all. This is the reality. As a company, we have been creating e-learning content for many international and European and local organizations the last years. And what we see is that it is very difficult for organizations to invest into having e-learning content which matches every learner's needs, because it would need a very significant amount of money to make 3, 4, 5 different versions of the same learning, if they are novices, if they are intermediate, if they are, I don't know, experts, or you're doing a refresher because you're an airport and you have to get the EASA certification, for example. So how can we deal with that? Up to now, we couldn't. Today, we will see that we can. And this is one of the major changes that is coming with AI. Another challenge, which is, again, very interesting, this is my favorite, is that I'm sure you've seen that. This is the spaghetti westerns typical landscape where the 2 cowboys, they're walking into the moonlight or whatever, and they're shooting each other in a duel in the sunset or something. Have you ever wondered, is this a real city? Probably not. This is not the real city. You can say anything in the chat if you believe, if you know what I'm saying about what I'm saying. Usually, what is this? This is just the front, so that it creates to the viewer of the Western show, to create the illusion that okay, I am now in this city. This city does not exist. It's Paramount or whatever, their studios with something like that. I have here for you something like slices of the front and something to keep them from falling, not to fall, so that can create this image just for the camera. Why do I mention that? Because this is the way our brain works, the learner's brain works. From neuroscience, we've seen that whenever the human brain has gaps, misunderstands something, there is a gap here, there is a gap there, has the tendency of filling the gaps in a speculating way. Probably this is something like that, probably trying to make something out of it, because it cannot be fragmented in our brain. And our brain usually believes that what we see, what we understood, is the correct thing. Usually, it's not. It's the illusion that we have understood something. It's the illusion that we have got it, as we say. And when are we going to actually understand that we haven't got it? When we will need to apply these skills in reality. Then we will say, oh my God, I thought I knew it. I thought I knew history. I thought, but reality is different. Today, this challenge becomes even worse because with the AI, the power of any GPT, ChatGPT, Claude, Mistral, Google, whatever, we don't really care about the names now, or the companies. It gave us enormous power in our hands. It's so easy, free. You don't even have to have the professional account. You log in, you don't even log in sometimes. You just go to the page, you write something, I want to do this, and there you have a perfect answer, perfect looking answer, and you feel God. You say, oh, I'm so good. And in a while, you will start misplacing who did what. And when you send this answer, for example, to your manager, to your learners, through your audience, and they are excited, you will start feeling that, this is a city, I have it, I'm God. However, this is an illusion. This is an illusion because if this stops, imagine all these people who use today ChatGPT or the similar. I will use ChatGPT just for simplicity. I'm not promoting them. If you use ChatGPT for every answer in your email, imagine one day to log in and say, out of order, wrong, something went wrong. And we will be back on 3 days. Suddenly, what? What do I do? If I write this, is this correct? Who can tell me if this is correct? So our confidence will drop if we start doing all that. And imagine if you do that with your experience, with your education, with your status, imagine what will happen to uneducated people or learners who are just joining, the arena. So there is a huge challenge today on this, and we must do something about it. Another challenge is this, the information. From neuroscience, again, we have seen that information cannot be stored in our mind for long term if it is randomly thrown here or there, just like bits and pieces of information. At the end of the day, our brain will start doing some like this. I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. It's not used anymore. We didn't use it after you learned it. So let's give some room to new knowledge, which would be more interesting and more useful for us. This is the way our brain works. So how can we do something about it? The only way is to make information, transform information into knowledge, meaning interconnected information into meaningful schemas. Schemata or schemas are the Greek word for a schema, a sign that I'm creating, a sketch, so that I create a schema, a mind map, where everything is importantly connected. So our brain says, oh my God, I will not delete this, because if I delete this node here, you can see this node here, if I delete it, then something will collapse. Something else is connected to it. So it's important. Let's keep it. And now for us is the next question again. If we give our people information-based learning with whatever modality, again, e-learning, classroom, webinar, okay, anything, information only, without connecting anything with anything, this becomes a problem. This becomes a problem because our brain, our learner's brain, at the end of the day, will start deleting unnecessary information to make room for new ones for tomorrow, next day, or on and on and on. So this is a major challenge up to today. Imagine what will happen in the future where information will not even be necessary to be accessed because I will know that I can ask the chatbot anything I want. It's like the Wikipedia some years ago. We didn't need to remember anything. We went to the web and Wikipedia or whatever like this, and we got some first answers without checking, of course, the validity. And all that is a huge problem. And to say, okay, they say here, this is it. Okay, yes, I'm okay. Now we don't even have to do that. Even now, I'm sure you've seen Google before gives us the link in the search. It gives us a summary of what they have found as a summary. So we don't even have to go down to drill the, I don't know how many links. I'm not even talking about the second page, right? Only the first page. So the challenge here is how can we persuade our learners not to abandon, let's say, their effort to remember things, to connect things, to understand things, because this will be very useful for their own development and sustainable development without the need of all that. Calliope, hi. If you could please put the question, because we don't have the possibility now for opening cameras. Put the question in the chat, and I will answer it the very moment. Thank you. So, since we have this challenge here, and we will see if we need to come back with Calliope's question. Another challenge, and I'm closing up with the challenges, is the valley of disappointment. The valley of disappointment is a good and bad challenge. What is that? Usually, people have the tendency, they believe, that learning is linear, like this, let's say, line. That yes, I'm going to learn German today. I learned this. Next day I will learn that. The other day I will learn that, and every day will be better and better and better. However, this is not the case. Usually, the brain has a plateau, something that is stopped for a lot of time, and then whenever we can whenever we start learning, if we have the patience to endure and be there into the valley of disappointment, there we will see huge improvement. For example, for 5 weeks, I might not have learned even a single word in German and remember it after my lessons. But if I persist, at some point, I will start using it. I will start remembering, and then it will be exponential. However, who is going to guide me with this valley of disappointment? Because here is the problem is that we have, let's say, we have the impatience of not making, of not having the patience of waiting for everything. I don't know. I had a couple of hands raising. Please put your questions in the chat or in the questions. And maybe, I'm not sure if I can, maybe I can switch on the microphone now that I see to it. Calliope, would you please raise your hand again to test it? I think it's an interesting. Okay, let me see. Oops, I lost it. Can you please again? Just keep it there. Okay. Try to talk, please.
Hi, Dimitris.
Yep. Hello. So we have a voice. All right. Good one. Yeah, please.
No question from my side. Thank you. We're okay. I
thought I saw your hands. Okay.
It's okay. I'm covered. Thank you so much.
Okay. So we have this functionality. If we want, we can do it again. All right. So moving on, we have this. All of you might know what cortisol does, what stress does to ourselves. Stress, let me remind you, was first invented by our brain so that it prepares us for a fight with a bear, which we saw 1 million years ago, and we had to, to create the fight or flight with adrenaline pumping up our heart and everything, so that we have the strength to fight or flight, go, run away. However, this exists today as well. We don't have bears, but we have other kinds of bears. We have exams. We have penalties. We have maybe somebody being humiliated because didn't take the exam or something, or maybe publicly. We've seen that as well. So if somebody is stressed, the bad news is that when somebody is stressed, then they don't learn. They don't learn. They actually stop their brain from functioning. So this challenge goes from the other end, because I've heard many designers, many academy leaders, learning and development leaders to say, okay, I'm going to put a very difficult exam and make them be, push them here or there. Okay, up to a limit, because excess stress will not help anyone. It's not a solution anyway. So what have we said so far? There is a lack of interest, there is a cognitive overload, illusion of learning, excess cortisol, and we have something here. What are our tools? Very quickly, it's not the time for that to go into detail. We have some neurochemicals. I will mention them here because we will use them again in the AI. First of all, dopamine. Dopamine, for those of you who are aware, is, we have discussed it with many in our courses and in our webinars. Dopamine is the reward chemical. Whenever we have a goal and we succeed, we feel good. This is the feel-good hormone, which when we have it, we feel that it's worth it to do what we're doing. So in learning, this creates kind of an internal intrinsic motivation. How? I don't know if anybody can add in the chat. How can we create a motivation boost with dopamine in our learning? If you have any hints, and you can put in your chat. Let me remind you, it's the reward. Smaller goals, very good. Thank you. Smaller goals. If you are waiting for a huge goal, if somebody tells you, you are doing very well, in 3 years, you're going to have these rewards. My God, I'm looking, I want now is instant gratification, what our brain wants, like sugar, something. Solving challenges, I mean, yes, of course. And if their challenges are, and this is very interesting, keep it for the next, Emil, I want you to come back with that in the next slides. If the challenges are at the correct level, because if the challenges are very difficult, I will be disappointed. If the challenges are very low, I will say, come on, it's not for me, right? So they have to be at the correct level, for example. And the rewards, Justina, yes, the rewards, which could be gamification, something, a point, something meaningless, points nothing, or a diamond, or a badge. This is nothing. It's an electronic image, but I like it because I feel that I have conquered something. So you see, with gamification, with goals, with adaptive goals, and smaller, as you just said, and many others we can explore, not right now because it's not the time. We can have some small dopamine in our learners, regardless their level, regardless their interest on the topic. This is, let's say, a human approach. It doesn't have to do a brain approach. It doesn't have to do with the actual content. It has to do with my pleasure, my reward of doing something that I like. So the question for you is, what you do with your learning. Do your learners like? Let's keep that. Yes, and clear goals, Harala, but yes, thank you. The next one is oxytocin. I don't know if you are familiar with that. Oxytocin is the trust chemical, the chemical that I feel when I trust the others, when the others help me, when I feel that they are there for me, they stand by me. Do you remember the song Stand By Me? They are there for me. So my question here is, how can an e-learning course, which is one size fits all, which after a few slides, I understand that's not for me, it's too easy, too hard, it's not exactly for my level. How can I feel that somebody cared for me? Somebody created something for me and not, just to tick the box. I'm out of the obligation. I did it. Let's tick the box. Oxytocin, of course, can work a lot with human connection. This is the basis of oxytocin. This is why we have classrooms. This is why we have. All these, interventions when we create breakout rooms, when we talk to each other, when we create teams and projects with project-based learning. So all these make us feel trust with the people we know, with the people we are together. That's the whole idea. And there the question for you is, how can we extend this and beat this one size fits all? Beat this problem of the trainer not being able to be there. I was talking today in the morning with a trainer colleague, and he said, I'm trying a lot to pass a lot of time within the classroom with my trainees, but they are 20. Imagine 20. And I cannot, because there's no time for everyone. But if they are 50, if they are 60, like today, for example, in us, 70. So how can we? We cannot. So here's the question again. Can AI help? That's something we're going to investigate. Serotonin. Serotonin is an easier one, which is the chemical of being proud of myself. So if the learning is not just one way, I'm giving you information, I'm giving you to read things, I'm giving you things or whatever. If it's not like that, if it is like that, how can I feel that I have a recognition, let's say? How do I feel that I'm recognized? I don't. And serotonin is the neurochemical, the feel-good again neurochemical, which I feel when I'm recognized. For example, you have heard me today, just to give you some of my techniques. You have heard me today to say, thank you, Emil, for that. Thank you, Galiob, for that. Thank you, Justina, for that. So when Emil, for example, hears, thank you, Emil, and so many people hear it, somehow internally says, this was good. I feel recognized. If I don't, then I withdraw this chemical from the equation, which is not good, for the learner, because the more motivated learner, the better learning results. So I'm doing anything I can to pump up dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin to my learners. And the last one, endorphins. The endorphins is the chemical which makes us feel good when we are tired physically in the beginning. So the idea is when I'm physically tired, then I have these endorphins, which it's morphine, endogenous morphine in my brain, makes me feel so good, relieved, and nice, so that I don't feel tired and pain in my feet, whatever. So you might say, okay, and why is this interesting for us? This is the main secret for games. Games and serious games and gamification, because the brain cannot make the distinction if this is a real world situation or a game. They are immersed. Our brain is immersed. Remember yourself. Do you remember yourself reading a book in a busy beach, for example, with 1,000 people around, into going into the sea to have sunbathing or whatever, and you read your book, whatever, literature, and totally forget of everyone else? This is called immersion. Our brain has the capacity of being immersed, being into the situation. So if I'm into a game, the brain cannot realize that this is not reality. So it feels that, okay, oh my God, I'm going to get tired now because I have excitement of the game. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and start pumping endorphins, the feel-good hormones. That's why we like playing games with our friends. It's a combination of dopamine, wanting to win, oxytocin, being with our friends, serotonin, we get points and maybe we are the first. I don't know, our team wins, and endorphins, because we feel so good and so relaxed, we forget about the stress. So all these cocktails, and I have here for you also the chemical reactions if you want to do it at home. Don't do it at home, okay? So all these chemical reactions can be used in today's learning as well. When we create, imagine, animated stories, with storytelling, with excitement, with something happening, with us being part of the problem, solving questions, getting badges, getting points, getting recognition, getting feedback, and playing games, board games or online games with our e-learning project. So these are here today. Now, from now on, we start on tomorrow. Up to now is what we do have today. So buckle up. We're going now to see what's going to happen tomorrow. Of course, nothing is only good things. Everything has good or bad sides. So we will start with AI now to see what we can do, what are the challenges and what we can do. Before we do that, I would like to show you something which I have noticed with the research I've been doing with the University of Turku in Finland, with many educators, that there is here a big problem. Many educators, I hope not you, use AI or see AI as a tool for their personal productivity. AI chatbot will help me create a better lesson plan. Oh, AI will help me create a better presentation. Oh, AI will help me create a quiz or something, which is not bad. However, this is not what we are here for. As professionals, educators of all industries and levels and modalities, must struggle for the second thing, to make AI useful for the learners, for their empowerment. AI is not here for us to make our lives easier. It can, but it's not the point. The point is, how can we use AI to make learners be more empowered, to make learners be ready to learn more, to make learners to have more challenges, to make learners to struggle a bit, not make everything easier. And for this, I would like again to extend to you this question: what is the biggest risk that you believe we have of heavy AI use in learning? Again, it's a multiple choice. You can vote for more than one. Thank you. Choices keep coming. Very good. Okay, and I see more people keep coming. Thank you for joining. All right. Okay. Are you done? Come on, the last of you. Waiting. I think we can wait 1 or 2 minutes. Votes keep coming. 5, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think we got it. So let's see what our poll. Yeah, votes keep coming. Okay, thank you. So let's see the results. The results are, what is the biggest risk? First of all, the cognitive offloading. We will see in a while what this is. Offloading, take it out of me, offload my energy, my cognitive power, and reduce critical thinking. The 68 of you voted on that. Then we have equally the hallucinations. We'll talk about that briefly. And the ethical and legal skills, very good. It's very promising that you're concerned on that. And the over depends on technology, which we already shared. And this is all, yes, very, very good that we have it. So thank you for that. And I withdraw this poll. And let's start looking at these challenges and opportunities right now. First of all, there are two interesting papers. I suggest you read about them if you can. They are public. You can download them, and you can have them. You can print screen that, or you can ask me to share it with you whenever you want. Just a second. Okay. All right. So what do they say? First of all, this is the MIT Your Brain on ChatGPT. This was one of the first extensive research studies on what happens when people over-rely on ChatGPT. What did they do? Just to know the experiment, if you don't read the full paper. They divided 3 groups with the goal of writing an essay. Their goal was to write a complicated essay. Now, what did they do? The first one, they didn't have access to any technology, and they told them, write this essay with your pen and paper, go to this room, write it alone. The other group had to write it again, pen and paper, whatever, but had access to a search engine, Google, whatever, to try to find information. And the last one had access only to an LLM, ChatGPT in this case. And then they started a series of experiments. This is just one of the results to see what happened. And this very ugly result is how many things did people remember after some days of the experiment from what they did in their essay. As you can see, the 90% of almost the 90% of the LLM participants did not remember anything, and only the 10% of the search engine or the brain only had problems in remembering. The majority who really worked on it remembered everything, nearly everything. This is called cognitive offload, or if you want another word, cognitive laziness. I become lazy. And this is very, very human if you think of it. Let me explain to you from a neuroscience point of view. The brain has the rule, do not spend energy. Why? Because our brain still believes that we are in the caves and we hunt to find our food, or we collect our food. So our brain wants to help us from overspending energy. Keep this in mind. Now, if we go to ChatGPT or whatever, again, GPT, whatever, chatbot, and we do our job with a minimum effort, just writing a prompt, and sometimes not even writing the correct prompt, the brain will say, oh my God, great tool. With this tool, I will never have to spend any more energy into thinking, into creating, into all that. And I will protect you, human, from dying, from starving. You see now the tragic irony here, that our brain, wanting to preserve our energy and save us from dying from thirst or hunger, stops our brain from developing and pushes us to go the easy way. And between us, if you have the ChatGPT there waiting, who of us will say, no, I will write every word on my own. I will never ask this tool. This is the devil's tool. I will never use it. Who? And if we do it today with our mental capacity as professionals who have been trained in a totally different environment all these years, okay, what will happen with today's generation, alpha, or whatever is coming, who will be born as we were born with at some time, or the younger were born with the laptop in the hand or the mobile phone or all that. The new generation will be born with the AI in the hand. So who will choose the painful way of doing it by themselves instead of relying to the AI? And my only problem with that, not the problem that they rely to AI, not a problem at all. My only problem with that is that the less we train the muscle, our brain is a muscle. The more we train it, the better it becomes. The more strong our brain becomes. So if our brain becomes lazy and we don't go to the gym, now we start with going once in a while to the gym, then we don't go at all to the gym, then we quit even the subscription to the gym, then our brain will start having the usual problems: obesity, not the ability to move. We'll start, losing the capacity of the muscles to react and all that. And this is what scares me of what will happen in the future. And this over-dependence. The second survey here, the impact on cognitive offloading and future of critical thinking, it focuses on critical thinking, not just memory, critical thinking. Another interesting thing here, very, very interesting. In critical thinking, and by the way, I'm going to send you the slides, so don't bother. You can click on it and find it. Now I remember. So the critical thinking is even worse, because in order to think, I must collect all my data, which means reflect, remember, understand again, use again, revive my connections, my neural connections in my brain. So do all these complex things, compare solutions, contrast them with specific criteria that I have in my mind, with weights. This is done automatically. We don't even know that we're doing it. And based on all that, then I come to a decision that I say, this is the best way to move on. What if this goes to the AI? Huge problem there. Research has found that even after a very short period of time of weeks, the critical thinking of people who were using systematically the chat bots of the kind to make decisions started losing their critical ability, the critical thinking skill. Scary, isn't it? So have in mind, these are the huge challenges. The last challenge, and I promise from now on will be only positive things and solutions, but we have to take them into account as well, is the hallucinations. I don't know how many of you know how AI works and why it hallucinates. For the record, hallucination means make mistakes that I imagine. Right? I imagine things that do not exist, and I even myself believe that these are true, right? I hallucinate. I see visions or whatever. This is a huge problem. LLMs are being improved the last 3-4 years and the last 2 years rapidly, but there still is a huge problem. They make mistakes. And the biggest problem is we don't know when this will make. It will never tell us, I'm going to make a mistake. So it could create a 5 pages summary for me. And somewhere put the word something, I don't know, whatever, video, where I never use the word video in my first script. And then my reader will say, okay, we're talking about video, but this is not about, why do you say that? So this is a hallucination. Why does this happen? Just for your knowledge, very quickly. The LLMs, the brains, are databases which just store the coordination of, let's say, words for simplicity. What does this mean? When OpenAI and any company started training these LLMs, they passed some PDFs, some pages, whatever, through these processing, and the system put every word in these 3 dimensions. Let's say, imagine a room. Here I am. So the word tea is here, and the word honey is here, or the word spoon is here. So it put it somewhere in the 3D, in this 3D environment. And the more PDFs that pass through, they make this word more exact, this location more exact, how close is one to other. Because if there are 1 million books that when they say, when they use the word tea, they use after one word, they use the word spoon, for example, these 2 words have a lot of significance. So it's probably when you're talking to somebody about tea to say something about a spoon. So these are put there. You see, for example, the banana is here and the visual of the banana is here and the apple is here, but apple might be the apple, the company, not the apple, the real apple. So the AI needs context to understand what should give us an answer. So when I ask any chatbot, what is banana? I don't say anything if banana is a fruit or banana is maybe these sports that we do into the sea. There is banana where we like this and we go on and the water and splash or whatever, or any other bananas, what other bananas might be. I don't say anything. So the chatbot might say anything. So there is huge possibility of hallucination. Yeah? Say something crazy. But if I say, tell me about the banana I can eat, oh, now you're saying eating. So I will try the word which is closer to eating, which is a fruit, and this is the banana, not the other banana, or the apple. This is the apple, not the company, not my phone, not anything. So I try to, the LLM tries always to give you the best answer, always. And if there is no context or the wrong context, it cannot cope with it. It's in the DNA. It tries to give you an answer, even if it's totally wrong, if it's very, very low in probability, meaning it can answer to you even if using from here another node and not very close ones, because it must give you an answer. This is the purpose of the LLM. However, this is in the DNA. I don't know what will happen in the future. Many companies are trying to solve this problem, but yet there is. You will see under every AI application, every AI chatbot, that the answers are based on the LLMs, and never use them for professional environment. Please check again, something like that, because they're afraid that if the LLM tells you something wrong and you do it, there could be consequences. So there is hallucination. And then again, if there is hallucination, if there is this cognitive offload, if there is this critical thinking going out of my brain, if there are many, I don't know if you can please put any other challenges that you might think. So how can I and why should I use AI in my learning? That is what we're going to investigate here. One main reason is this one, which I think is very, very, romantic. And the way I say romantic, in 1984, Bloom, you know Bloom, the theoretician of the Bloom's learning objectives and the levels of learning outcomes, etc. He had a vision, and he said that he made some research, and he found out that when people had one-to-one tutoring, meaning one-to-one tutoring with a teacher and the learner being together all the time of the learning experience, the results are 2 sigma higher, about 50%, just to make it easier, higher than the traditional classroom. And this was romantic because in 1984, poor Bloom could not even imagine that when he was asking to have one tutor per learner would happen in this decade, in this millennia, for example. And that's why he said, that's it, but we cannot do anything about it. We cannot afford to do that. But what if we can? What if we manage to have predictable, reliable, oxytocin, trust-creating mentors for each one of the learners who knows their strong points, their weaknesses? You might say imagination, right? No, it's reality. This is the reality we're stepping in. And sooner or later, we will see it. Again, this was main discussion in OEB conference in Berlin, that we are closing to the end of the previous way we used to learn. And another challenge, Emil, this is the one I was telling you earlier. This is from the flow from gAImify. This is the best way that we can reach great results. These are challenges, these are skills. What does it say, this system? That when I am, for example, my skills are here, and you give me a challenge that high, I'm very, very stressed. There is an anxiety to me because I cannot cope with it. So the best trainer, the best teacher, the best mentor, coach, gives the exact amount of challenge to the exact amount of skills that I have at this very moment. With this experience, I get, tell it, huh? Dopamine, remember? Yes, the desired difficulty, yes, Emil. So I get this. And then if a good trainer, a good coach is sitting next to me and sees that I manage, then can challenge me a bit and say, okay, are you ready to step into the next, let's say, difficulty level? Then I can give you something a bit more challenging, not much, don't be stressed, and so that you can improve your skills. Or the other way around, if you have better skills, let me give you a challenge which is more appropriate, that you are not getting bored. So it gives me this, and then gives me that, and then gives me that, until scaffolding, I don't know if you know the word, it's building, the scaffolds is building, it helps me build step by step my strength, and then goes away, the trainer. And all these are full of dopamine, are full of serotonin, because I'm good, I manage it. They're full of oxytocin, because I feel trust. Somebody's here for me. They haven't abandoned me struggling with content alone in the world, and all that, until I reach the highest level. And this is something we simply cannot do today. It would require, in every organization, hundreds of trainers being available to help the learners. And even if we had them, when? If the learner needs that 11 o'clock at night, when they had the time finally to go through this learning content, how can we be there to provide them with the correct amount of level of difficulty? That's a huge thing. That's a huge revolution that is coming. And imagine, to any learner, even if it's thousands of learners. I'm 25 years plus in this job, in education. I serve education, and I strongly remember that this was the vision that we had. Someday we could do things like that. And today this vision is becoming a reality. And I cannot tell you how happy I am that in my time I have seen that. We were expecting that for decades. Educators from the 1800 were expecting all that to happen and couldn't. But now, yes, something can happen. Now, the two practical, I don't know if there is any question before we go. Let me give you some moments to think. You can put any question that you have, because we finished with the challenges. We talked about the neurochemicals and the opportunities with AI. And now we will come to these two examples, practical examples, which we're going to discuss. I'm going to show you how they work. And I'm going to show you what happens under the hood to understand a bit the architecture. It won't be a lot, technical. So don't be afraid. It will be practical, so that you know what happens. Because I strongly believe that AI should not be left to the hands of the, let's say, only IT professionals. I strongly believe that all of us, educators, learning and development professionals, instructional designers, have the capacity, with the right tools in hand, to actually create themselves the experiences for their learners. We don't need to depend always, because in the future there will not be enough IT professionals to meet the demand of all these, what will happen in the education world. So pay some attention to that, because you'll find that it's not that extreme. So I take it that there is no question. You know what happens when there is no question. Either we understood everything, or I don't say the other. So, okay, we understood everything, I'm sure. So let's move on. The first one we're going to see is a groundbreaking idea of the inSCORM AI. This is an idea we had as a team 1 year ago, and we implemented it. We haven't seen that yet anywhere else in the world, just some sporadic here and there, but not very organized. And we are very, very proud for it. We presented that to the OEB conference in Berlin with huge interest on all these. And how does this work? Just to give you the idea. The main idea is that, and before we go to the technical, to the examples, the main idea is that, and let me stop sharing for a moment and explaining to you. The main idea is that if we have e-learning as we had it so far, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the huge AI things that could be devised, created, applications that can know my competencies, can know everything about me, can know what I need, can know what way of modality I like to learn better visually, or any other things that I want to do. Before we go to that, which is, I think there is some time that these all need to be more mature. inSCORM AI goes to the middle. What does it say? SCORM, for those of you who are not familiar, are the e-learning packages which are interactive. How we learn, the 99% of the population today on e-learning learn with SCORM. These packages, doesn't matter a lot the technicalities, which can work in any learning management system. So you have them in this, you change the learning management system, you take it, you put them there, they just work. There is interoperability. It works everywhere. So this standard is the standard for the last more than 2 decades all over the world. There are millions of SCORM packages created. And the question I get every time we talk about it with business leaders, with L&D leaders, is what should we do? Should we throw away all this investment? Because it's huge investment. You all know that we have collaborated with many of you in the past. So in your organization. So what do we do with all this? It's a huge investment, and to be honest, it's a good work. So why should we throw it away just because it's not smart, it's not adaptive? So what did we do? We found a way to, instead of throwing it away, take it, if we have the main file, the production file as it was created, and infuse some AI characteristics, some together with the existing characteristics, infuse them into the SCORM without the learners having to log in anywhere, without the learners having to do anything, as they are while they're checking their e-learning content. And this, and with something we're going to see, compliant, in a compliant way, fully anonymized. So nobody will know what the learner has said, nobody will know what has been discussed if we don't want it. If we want it, we will. It's up to us. It's a matter of compliance and what our organization really wants. So if there is still no question, I'm starting now again to share with you the examples that we have created. Again, here, this is what we've been discussing so far. Yep, here. And okay, all right. Okay, so the first example that I can show you. This is the Knowledge Mentor chatbot. What you see here is a SCORM playing, where whenever you click on this, you can click, and then you have a mentor in your SCORM, within the SCORM. You can ask any question that you might want, and you can guide your learners with Q&A. You can deliver on demand. For example, you might say, help me remember, this is, for example, this course is on growth mindset. And help me remember, what are the main growth mindset principles, whatever we discussed earlier. We'll tell you. Maybe discuss something else or make an analysis. Tell me exactly what I can do. Remind me some parts of the theory. Remind me what was being discussed, like this. And maybe if, since I do believe we have some time, we can see a practical example here. I will log in to, let me stop sharing this, and I will start sharing the adaptive quiz, which is on a platform. Sorry, I will share the Knowledge Mentor chatbot to start discussing with the mentor. So sharing again. Give us a second. I'm sharing also the sound. Just have in mind you'll hear some sound from the system. So imagine here you have this SCORM, and
magnificent universe
it says
where stars
blah
are
blah
born
blah.
and galaxies
Goes
for a
on,
moment,
explains
a world where
things,
challenges are
whatever
not
you need to
roadblocks
explain.
but stepping stones.
At some point, you just click on this. Okay, I will make it a bit larger so that you can see it. You click on this. Hello, I'm your consultant. How can I help? And I ask here, what is, and by the way, any typo, no problem with that. What is growth? What is growth mindset exactly? Because I will make a mistake also here. So this now will go to the agent, will understand what I'm asking, and then will come back with the question, what I asked. And then, for example, I have a problem with somebody at work, feeling that they know everything. Now, this can be, depending on how we program it, when we will see that, this becomes a mentor. It can be tough working with somebody. Try focusing and start giving some advice. Would you like some more strategies? And here, are you ready for the fun part? I might say ne in Greek. So if I say ne in Greek, the system realizes that it's Greek and starts answering in Greek. It could be German, anything, anything. Imagine this is the end of all the translations if we look at it, or a new era of translations if you look at it. So imagine this anytime you wanted, anywhere, whenever your learners are learning something. And this is the first example. Any question, please, of this? We will see later how this works, but this is also important to know that we have a mentor there at any time. So Emil asks, Emil, thank you today. You're very helpful. Yeah, it can tell you whatever you want, and I will explain it to you later, because this is not a normal chatbot like ChatGPT. This is a chatbot, an agent actually, I'm going to explain, which has specific orders. For example, this one prompt, explain growth mindset at the level of 5-year-old. This one might be in the system, so you don't have to do it. We might put it from the beginning that whenever somebody asks you, please give them exact answers in 5 lines with this. I have examples for you to see in a while how this prompting works. Or, for example, you can say, never answer something which is related to anything outside growth mindset. Put some guardrails on that. So we can really do anything, miracles here. I don't know if I answered your question. Yep. Okay, Emil. And here, think about the previous. Yep. The information is found from, the SCORM only. Thank you, Anastasia. It's again based on our design. Yes, this information comes only from the information contained in the SCORM. It doesn't go to read the SCORM. We take the information from the SCORM and we put it in a very special database, and we say to the chatbot, do not take anything from the outside world, just go and dig to this specific knowledge base and answer from there. And this is not only information for the SCORM, and you'll be surprised there. We might give it information about the organization. So we might say, for example, that organization X has this vision, this mission, these values, this culture. They want to have growth mindset this way in the leadership model and all that. So every answer will be based on the company model, on the theory that we give it, on the prompts that we give it, and don't say anything outside of these. So in a safe way, it's like having a coach from the company sitting next to me 11 o'clock at night and being any time available to say, and please tell me, what exactly did we do here? And why in our company we do it this way? And why do we do it that way? Wow. So this is the first achievement. And please feel free to ask anything else if you want on it. Moving on. If you have still this, I see that people keep growing the team. All right, thank you. Good. So let's move on. And we can see any examples that you might even want later. This is one of my favorites. This is the AI-powered adaptive quiz. What does this mean? This means that the questions, and this was a real struggle for our team of the SCORM team, of our developers, the questions are not ready-made into the SCORM. This was a huge difficulty because most of you who are familiar with that know that SCORM is a very closed, let's say, environment with static slides. So what we've managed to do here is that we've managed to create quizzes that are AI generated and generated on the spot with, and this is very, very interesting, with personalization in mind. What does this mean? If I answer the first question correctly, the next question can be more difficult, adaptive. If I tick the boxes on specific competencies, we will see that also in a while in another example, it will not ask me again about this question because it says, okay, you know it. It will not stop. Have you seen a quiz giving endless series of questions until you get it? Usually our quizzes are a specific number, 10 questions, I don't know, whatever, 5, 25. And then what do we say? If you do the 70% correctly, 75%, yes, you are okay to move on and finish or whatever with the course. Here we don't care about that. This is about real learning and real practice, because with quizzes we learn. That's the whole idea. And what we really do here is we give the opportunity to the agents who, again, know very well the company. They know the competencies that I need to master in this course. They know the learning outcomes. They know my previous answers. They know what my goal is, depending on how we build it, and keep feeding me with questions until I manage it. I fail, I get a more easy question. I manage, I get a more difficult one. So it's always adapting until I finish with all the competencies. And when I finish, it says, hurrah, you got it. Yes, you got it. Now you're ready to move on with this subject. And you can imagine this is totally customizable. We can do whatever we want. How many questions? We don't want infinite questions. Okay, let's have 5. We want infinite. Let's have infinite. It's again the way we structure the whole thing and the infinite possibilities we have these days. The key here is the competency framework, the grading rubrics, meaning that instead of giving, feedback as you just saw here in the quick video, all these that you see here are AI generated. The video, the feedback, everything that I do here is AI generated. And how can we be sure that this is not mistaken? 2 ways. First, we give it a learning grading rubric and we say, this is the competency framework. This is the way that you're going to grade it. This is the competence information. This is all the rules. So don't deviate. We give a command. Do it this way. And this way, we have seen with preliminary results that the questions are very, very good and accurate. And these days, we are working closely with many organizations doing their own pilots to verify the results and then go full scale with all their content. Now, we will go more to see more because we don't have time. This is anyway that, and can also deploy gamification. You see here scores, get this, get that, and points, badges, whatever we already had in our content. Another very interesting example I would like to share with you is this one. This one, I love it, is the AI-powered open-ended scenarios. Up to now, what do we have? We have the scenarios, pre-made scenarios with 3 choices, some feedback, etc. We cannot give to the system open-ended questions because who is going to go into, who is the trainer who is going to follow up and go to every trainee and answer and give feedback? This is not feasible. those who have tried in the past, it was disaster because it was asynchronous. People were waiting. They didn't get their feedback. They were, disappointed. Trainers were overloaded. Oh my God, it was a huge problem. Now, what do we have? We can have open-ended scenarios like this. So with any persona, we can have a Socratic coach. I'm sure you are familiar with Socrates. Socrates was famous because he was just asking questions instead of giving answers. And with the right questions, probing questions, he tried to help you find your own truth through everything. It can be another coach, normal coach, scaffolding coach, open coach, strict coach, whatever we like. And this, imagine again, personalization, adaptation, one-to-one tutoring. If Bloom could see that, I'm sure he would cry. It's his vision. You can have a coach, a mentor for every trainee. And imagine the coach will know your performance from the previous quizzes, will know what you did and what you know, we don't know. Your scenarios can be influenced based on your shortcomings, or if you want to solidify your strong points, whatever. It's up to us to design. And here, a quick parenthesis. I don't know how many of you are instructional designers in this team. If you are, be aware there is a new industry rising, the hybrid instructional designer, the instructional designer who can create systems for the learning world and for the AI world and can bridge them together, which is very, very interesting, by the way. If we see that very briefly happening here as well, I will put another AI coach so that you can see. You saw the Socrates. Let me again share the new screen for you to see. So here again is the new coach. I will make it a bit larger. Hi, I'm a growth mindset coach. Are you ready for a scenario? Yes, come on. Yes. And here we start with the scenarios. So depending, this is for hotel, for example, industry, about an IT manager who has been tasked to do this, to do that. The scenarios are again based on a database of what the organization pains are, what are the challenges, what do they really want to succeed on. It's not random. And then you should answer something like whatever. If I put here, I don't know, this kind of coach is good enough. It's not like Socrates. Socrates' answer will be, okay, you don't know, try answer these questions. But here gives me a hint. Let's break it down together. If you're doing this, what would you do? What's one more step? It tries to get me into the discussion. And you see, open-ended discussion. And maybe here, whatever. Anyway, in Greek, you know that. Let me not delay you because we have to see a lot coming up. So again, the idea here is to have open-ended scenarios, realistic conversation, real feedback, coaching personas, anything that we might want at our fingertips, wherever we want. And also here, just for you to see, this is a very interesting paper. I will send it to you as well. How more effective is the Socratic coach if you use it as a chatbot than other generic chatbots that you would use in learning. Because, and imagine why, because just ask questions is the other way of cognitive offload. This is creating problems. Aristotle said learning must be challenging, must not be easy. Learning must be challenging in order for you to be able to learn, actually. And of course, we saw that already. No need. Sorry, we didn't see that. We will now. The personalized pathways. This is the last of the inSCORM innovations, which fights the one-size-fits-all. Imagine you can have here. I will show it to you from here now quickly to see, and we're going to see some screens as well. We can have an AI coach who is giving me scenarios which I will answer. And based on my answer and the rubrics, for example, this is one rubric I give to the system. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the challenges, what to competencies, what number to give, what points to give, depending on the type of answer. And also it gives me results like that, right? So let's see how this works. It's really very, very interesting. You give some answers here, and you start seeing whatever based on the many questions. Let's say that you do some questions, you get some results. These are all customizable. It could be 3, it could be 5, it could be 1, it could be 10. It's up to us how to build it as instructional design. And the very, very interesting thing here is that not only it remembers your previous questions and says, in your previous answer, you said this and this, now you are improved there. So it gives a full feedback on that. And the most amazing one is, based on this, it gives me access then to specific results, to specific content from then on. Meaning, let me take you to this slide. Meaning, if you go very well to chapter number 2, for example, this will be unlocked. It will not be mandatory anymore for you. It will be unlocked. You can do it if you want. If you don't, since you mastered this with the previous exam, let's say pre-assessment, feel free to skip it if you are a master on it. And now you might say, how can I be sure that you are not going to cheat the system? The learner is not going to say something that the AI will like, which is very difficult. I dare you, if we have a practical session, to try to get a 4 in a session. You will see that I wrote the content and I struggled. At some point I was about to quit. I said, oh my God, I cannot make it. And so it's not easy to cheat it. But let's say that you cheat. What do? We unlock content, but at the same time, we have a standardized assessment at the end of the course. Difficult, standardized assessment of all the sub-modules. So if you fail into any of these at the end, it locks again the previous content, and you must, in order to complete the course, go back and take what you missed again. So at the same time, as you saw, we can mix AI without the AI and with the actual, let's say, the actual learning that can happen. So this is pretty much it. And in a nutshell, we can have more engagement with adaptive personalization, coaching and feedback, real time, then transform, not throw away your content. Enterprise, this is very important. We have guardrails, and I'm going to show you in a while the guardrails and how it works under the hood. And it can assist, and no LMS change anything. And now, under the hood, this is a Ferrari, by the way, under the Ferrari hood. Okay, let's hope that this will be the Ferrari of learning. So what do we have? And please ask any question if you find it incomprehensible or you need more clarifications. This is your LMS. This is the inSCORM AI Hub, our application. Now, what do we have here? What are the main components? LLM. We use the LLM as the heart. We use commercial LLMs. Right now, we're using OpenAI, GPT, actually, not ChatGPT, ChatGPT is the application. And we use it because it was the first to use. We tried it. We have very good results. We're good. However, we tried it with Mistral, with Google, with Gemini, it works with any LLM. So if your organization says, I don't like OpenAI, I like Europe's, for example, only Europe-based companies like Mistral, Okay. If an organization is large enough to have their own LLM, okay, let's use your own. European Union has their own version of an LLM, okay. So we are very flexible to that. So this is the brain that makes the discussion. Then we go to what Anastasis asked earlier about the content. The information comes here. This is what we say the vector database. Let me enlarge it a bit to put it here to see it better. The vector database, what is that in a nutshell? It's a kind of a database which is constructed the same way the LLM is, with the 3 dimensions, remember? The 3 dimensions. And we feed all the company knowledge, the custom content of the SCORM, the competency framework, whatever we want, we feed it there and we plug it to the LLM. It's like putting a USB to the brain. So it has access, it's the same structure, so it can have access to it very easily. And then we need to give guidance. We need to give information, guidance, how to do it. This is the system prompts. So remember, Emil, earlier you said, explain growth mindset to 5 years old. Instead of waiting for the learner to put the correct prompt, because the learner does not know what to ask actually, the correct way, the context, so that it gets the best answer. So we give all the rules, the personas, the rubrics, the mechanics, anything. We have it here with commands. Prompts are the commands, let's say. So we say to the LLM, this is the way we want you to operate, and the information you are going to take is from there. And who is going to orchestrate all that? The agents. One agent is responsible for creating the mentor knowledge. Another agent is for creating the quizzes, the adaptive quizzes. Another for the mentors, the Socratic coaches. Another for feedback. Another. So there are many agents there. So whoever is needed every time is command. It takes command and says to the LMS, okay, LMS, now go to the vector database, get what you need. Now come back. You see the prompt, create the correct question, give them to me. And then the question is, how can I be sure that this is correct? There we have guardrails. Guardrails meaning that if there's something weird, stop it. A weird answer, a weird question from the learner, stop it. If it's outside the content, stop it. So that we are sure that everything that goes out is correct, double-checked, and whatever is needed. So all this happen on our server, on our application. How can this? Yep, and it says, is it? Yeah, in the SCORM only. This is one example, and it says yes, in the SCORM. Or sorry, okay, there was no another question. I thought it was another question. Sorry. Yeah. Here, when we finish with that, there is an API. Simplified, there is a channel, let's say a tube, which can take the information into the SCORM and take the information out of the SCORM so that all this communication can happen. And what do we have here? We have your own LMS or any LMS, the content which can be static, the usual content, the legacy content with the AI-generated content. And all these now can start preparing these kinds of interventions. And these are only 4 examples we created for demo. How many we can create with imagination, your imagination, it's, I don't know, whatever we can, games, gamification, whatever we might think. And all these, with this API, seamlessly, nobody understanding anything, no logins, no personal data, nothing. This is the magic of it. I don't know if I helped you or confused you with the technology behind it. Anyway, you will not have to deal with all that because we deal with that, but we will need from instructional designers, company knowledge, rules to craft together how we want it, what is the outcome, how we want to infuse it into the existing learning, etc. And just to see here some examples, I have for you some examples. These are some prompts. What are the prompts? Role. You're an expert adaptive quiz generator. This is kind of, simplified, of course, for this domain. Creating questions that follow the sound educational principles, these principles. So we give to the system the sets and the way to do. Get the knowledge from here. Do whatever is needed in order to create the right questions. Create one multiple question per time. 3 options, 1 correct. Coaching feedback, blah, blah, blah. So we give the commands. It's like educating the agent how to operate. Training the trainer, training the AI educator, assistant, name it whatever you want. And the Socratic here, for the Socratic, you're an expert, whatever in this domain, use this knowledge to create a scenario, blah, blah. You're a Socratic coach, engage the learner by asking smart questions, not giving answers anytime. So again, questions like that. And this is for the rubric. Use the competency, use the rubric in order to give answer. Don't say anything. So if you take the agent and you put it in, you put exact rules, 1, 2, 3, what to be able to do, what not, then the system will not go away, will not make hallucinations. Or, forgive me for that, I cannot say will not make hallucinations. It will make less hallucinations, affordable hallucinations, if I might say. Affordable, meaning that we can afford with them. It's not a problem. Will not create a problem with our learning. So a quick one. Now I'm launching a quick question from what you saw. So how would you rate this? How useful you might find it? Just a generic feeling we need from you. Just get the feeling, and in a while I will give you the opportunity to write any comment on that. Okay. 5 is that it's the best. It can give us one of the best results. 0, nothing. It's not good. Okay. Please vote. Okay. I see votes coming. One more minute or less. If anyone else needs to vote, please do it now. I see many votes are coming. Okay. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm stopping it right now and sharing the results. So the results are, as we can see, the results ranging from I think only 3%. It's 1. Maybe you can share now in the next one what is the concern. It's very, very interesting to see. So we see overall that there could be value, something like that. And I would like a lot to see in your next comment. I stop sharing now, and I'm sharing another one, which I would like to get some comments with you. I think you can write something. Please check a short answer, a very short answer about what would you like to see improved. Probably, and especially the one who thought might not be useful. Please give us what could make this something more useful. If it's not, it cannot at all. And if not at all, please share with us what is it. Already we have the concern of the humanity of all that. We try a lot with human in the loop and have human checking everything and all that. And we are concerned on how exactly to do that. But I would like a lot your opinion on this. So I see there are some answers coming. Please give us even a few words. I think you will help us a lot with this. And we just have 15 minutes to show you the second one, which is Hollywood, let's say, quick presentation. Stay tuned. Although I see that you're all here, and thank you for that, for your patience. So let's give it some seconds more. If somebody did not have the time, because we will close it in a while, please, you have the email that you got the invitation from. Please give us your feedback. It matters a lot to us for this new technology that is going to change, we believe, the world. So I'm ending it. Okay, anybody, the last moment, I see some more, please click on it. We don't care about typos. So if there is something there, but we have to proceed. Okay, give you some more seconds. I see more people are putting in it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, last moment, we got the last one. Okay, thank you. So moving on now. This one. This is something totally new, is a totally new platform. You will learn more about it in another webinar, which will be devoted only for that. We call it gAImify Hub. It's not, doesn't have to do anything with inSCORM AI, it doesn't have to do anything with LMS. It can be connected, of course, with an LTI very easily with an LMS, but it doesn't have to do anything with LMS. So what does it do? It has two parts. One part is an AI-assisted course generator based on specific templates, which again are created by us or together with the organization. And when whoever stakeholder, let's say manager for the team or wherever, they can start. For example, here, they can start a template, interviewing skills. There is always a mentor here to say. And here, as you can see, it starts the system asking questions. Where do you work? What's your organization about? In which field? Give me your vision, mission, upload your vision, etc. It reads everything. You can put anything here to improve it. Candidates level. So you give all the information that you can give. And verbally, by choosing competencies generated by the system, it generates automatically competency frameworks. And then you put limitations, whatever you believe that's your pain and all that. You create a title, everything, and then an image for that or automatically, and it gives you the opportunity to review. And then if you want to change something, you can change, you agree, and then you say create course, boom. And then finished on that with human in the loop, after a while, this course has been generated. By the way, this is a project where we've been building for 2 years now with the support of the Hellenic Republic, the National Recovery and Resilience Plan funded by the European Union and Information Society from Greece. It's a huge project with a lot of money invested, huge budget on that, and is closing to an end. Now, in March will be officially up in the market. Up to now, we're just developing pilots with organizations we work with for interviewing skills and all that. I'm not naming now, it's not the correct thing to do. Now, if you do that, what do we have? We have, first of all, the theory, before we go to that, I might have the time to show it to you. We have video-based theory, meaning storytelling. If I say, for example, we're a hotel, it starts that there is an urgent need. We need to open the hotel in 2 weeks. Now, are you ready to help us find the best candidates, etc.? Then it starts with the theory, the quizzes, adaptive quizzes as we saw them already. Scenarios with feedback. Here, you did this, points, you made this, you made that, whatever. And all that also with AI avatar. Have a look at this. Hello and welcome to our company. I'm just recorded just before we start. And then here we have the avatar.
Hello, I'm Sophia. Thank you for
Who's
meeting with me
playing
today.
the role
Sophia,
of
can you tell me
the
something
scenario
about your previous experiences? I'm wondering if you
had, based on your experience, any major successes which you are proud of? And then here you see real-time
Of
feedback,
course.
getting
In my current role
points.
as an IT support assistant, I helped reduce ticket response times by improving our internal tracking process.
And goes on and on and on. And what exactly did you do? How exactly did you? It goes on, the interview, whatever. Then it gives me the opportunity to see the scenario. What was the scenario? What did I do correctly? How many attempts I had? What did I do in the chat history? This took 10 points. This took -10. How can I be improved? So you see now, this is the master of role plays, simulations. So this new application has a lot of analytics, seeing how did I do, my learning journey, points, leaderboard, how many badges did I get, and all that. So all these as a platform which can be embedded in a way in any LMS, which is totally free right now, because having the back end, let's say all the technology, the agents, and the structure, the APIs. This is a kind of a similar structure of what you saw with the inSCORM AI. However, more sophisticated and with more depth and more complexity. You can understand that. And this way, what we can do, why the reason that we did it, is that we feel that with the organization we work with, we can give them endless experiences, meaning having this technology now in our hands, we can make anything we design together. Courses which can have leadership, for example, which can have all these goodies we have discussed, adaptive, personalized quizzes, all the theory generated with video, to have the scenario, the open-ended scenario with personas, with feedback, explaining every word that you said, where the mistake is, try it again, and all these, and the AI simulations to really practice until you learn, and all that with a gamified way, with badges, points, with storytelling, with all that. And the interesting thing is that apart from the templates we have created based on our company knowledge, we are totally open to create any template, any game we might design. For example, we might have an organization we're working with about law enforcement right now, and they want to have about a simulation about cryptocurrency and things like that, and how to find the guilty people and to arrest them or whatever, and to do that. So all these games could be backed there and design everything with this engine at the back, and having experiences for the learners which they have never even imagined that they could have in their lives. That is the whole idea. And what we are trying to do, and since it's now the time to start closing our session, and if you would like to have any questions either in the Q&A answers or in the chat, I would be very, very glad to answer. This is about the gAImify Hub. Let me show you again the whole idea. Again, this is not in the SCORM. This is a totally new idea and outside of it. And as you're thinking about your questions, I'm going also to share again the poll that again I would like to get your preliminary, and I'm very thankful for that preliminary view. How do you perceive it as an idea? Again, from 0 to 5. How useful do you find it for learning and development? Again, so that we know if we will have your preference, and if you like it, a position like that. Of course, with human in the loop all the time and being very, very careful on how we implement it. Whatever you've seen does not try to make learning more easy for the learners, more difficult. That is our focus, to make it more challenging. So I think we have a lot of polls. So let's see again how this is. We have the 75% 5. Thank you for that. It's very encouraging to see that you liked it. And also we are launching quickly any verbal comments that you might want. Give me just a second. Where is that? gAImify. Okay, stop sharing. So we're launching again now your comments. If you are kind enough to give us any comment, what would you like to see improved or clarified, or anything that you might feel that is useful for us in our effort to create more engaging solutions. And I'm checking now the chat. Okay, if there is anything in the chat or in the Q&A, feel free to pump it up, or else we will finish with this. Let me go to the wrap up. Just a second. It has its own mentality. Okay, so here. Okay, I'm ending the poll, and thank you for your comments. And let me remind where we started. We started here. We saw what we can do with neuroscience. We saw what we can do with AI for learning and development. And let me remind you that there is still some work to be done on the ethics and any concerns about it. And let me remind you that we have an AI Act which classifies the risks in some level. Some are unacceptable. With that, we are in the minimal and limited risk, because everything is anonymized and not critical for the lives of people, so that it's compliance by design. The last moment before we close, I'd like to tell you that what we're doing, we hope that you will join us to an initiative we have for citizen developers. We are going to have also a Train the Trainers course in free of charge just for research purposes in February. And we will extend an invitation to you to train you on how to do that, and then participate in a research paper with University of Turku in Finland, to see what are the reactions of creators, how easy you can find it as educators with low code, no code tools to create agents for yourselves without writing code. And because we believe that in co-creation, we shouldn't be separate on that. And saying goodbye, don't forget that the mind is not a vessel that needs filling. It's wood that needs igniting. And we can do that with neuroscience, we can do that with AI, if we use it wisely. Thank you all so much being here today. I am truly sorry that we didn't have the opportunity to communicate more because of the type of this webinar, which is mainly a webinar. I hope this was useful to you, and we are going to, next steps is that we're going to share with you the PowerPoint slides that we've been using, your certificates of attendance as promised in your email that you were registered, and yes, please, I see that in the chat, if you're interested in this training and research, please let me know. It will be limited seats. It's only 12 people. So because it's a qualitative research and free of charge, funded by university and human asset. So if you're really interested in that, maybe even today, just send us an email that just you're interested in this, and we will communicate with you later on to see. It will be early February, this training. Thank you again very much. I'm very glad to see so many people that are interested in the AI world. We didn't expect that, to be honest, and how to bridge it with education. Time is up. Thank you all, and see you again.